So this is one of those theories that makes sense, but I would love to see any kind of metrics or statistics back it up. Like division games are always tougher in the NFL. Well, that's kind of, I don't have any numbers to back that. I would love somebody to actually lay down the numbers that would back that up. Quarterbacks making their first start against a Power 5 opponent, against a quality opponent, would love to see the numbers on that versus what they accomplished the rest of their careers after that and how difficult that assignment is, talking Jarren Williams.
And that is a very good point. I'm not going to dive too into it, but as I go through our editorial system on State of the U, I believe that I saw Marshall Thomas. Yes, indeed. He's working on a piece of every quarterback's first start for the Miami Hurricanes ever since Ken Dorsey left. So that is a thing that we are evaluating and looking at. Yeah, how did all these guys do in their first games? And, you know, I went out to a live show event for my buddy's podcast on Friday night, and they had the legend himself, Brad Kaya, in the building. And I talked to him a little bit about that, you know, because his first start was 2015 on the road at Louisville in the season opener. And, you know, I wrote about it beforehand saying, you know, these are the things we needed to do. This is scheme wise. This is just mentality wise, you know, not just being super conservative on offense and things like that. And that was Al Golden at the helm. So yeah, well, it might not have been 15, 14. Anyway, whatever year it was. It was 15. It was 14 because 15 was the second year. That's when Golden got fired, and then he stayed for one more. Anyway, so it was 2014. So yeah, I talked to Brad Kaya about it and everything. So that is, you know, something that is interesting to know and note, just like you're talking about the quarterback play in different scenarios and situations. But obviously your first game is a game that matters because it usually sets the tone for what you're going to do in your career and everything. And yeah, Jarren Williams is going to be on a big stage against Florida's defense, Florida's team in general. Obviously, you know, a rivalry because these are teams in the same state. I know that Florida wants to try to neg Miami and say, oh, we're not a rival with them. Like they're not a rival for us. That's fine. We just beat you guys every single time that we play. Anyway, which is why you ducked. And also, it's been reported by Brett McMurphy and hinted at other places, that Miami and Florida have agreed to a home-and-home series in 2024 and 25, which should be announced officially tomorrow. So, yeah, I know that I've come on here. I've said it in many different places. I've written it, that Florida are scared. You know, they went running from Miami because we beat them every single time except for when they had Tebow in my lifetime. In 2009, that was it. I think that, well, no, they've won twice in my lifetime against Miami. But yeah, so they decided, I guess, you know, obviously to do this one-off, and then, you know, it fit in their paradigm to stop being scared and stop running away from us and actually come through and agree to the home and home in some years coming up. So we will see about that. But yeah, you know, a quarterback, you know, it is the glamour position in football. Obviously, if you make plays, any position could be the glamour position. But if you list them from like most known, most visible, and I mean, even talking outside of the world of sports, you know, if you just kind of talk to a random guy on the street, hey, you know, Tom Brady, oh, he plays quarterback or something. That's the thing that you'll know. You know what I mean? It just kind of is this massive thing, and that's going to be Jarren Williams. He has that position, like the quarterback of the University of Miami. That's one of the glamour positions in this sport, obviously, at a glamour position overall. So yeah, we'll see what happens with him. And yeah, in the near future on stateoftheu.com, we'll be evaluating his potential performance based upon what we've seen from every other quarterback who started for the Hurricanes in their debut, since Ken Dorsey left.
And Cam, I didn't leave this particular statement on the screen as long as I have just to irritate you. It's just I'm doing other things, but we will move it along from there. I just want to reset and remind everyone, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please dive into the video selections that we have, previewing everybody across the country, even to the extent, Cam, if you can believe it, I was asked to preview on SG1 Sports every opener in the Big Ten. So I even cut a video preview on UMass and Rutgers. That's how far we take the deep dive here.
Wow.
Join us
UMass
for
and
all the
Rutgers.
videos, but a little bit more standard today and tomorrow with Miami and Florida, Auburn, Michigan, USC. We will be talking all sorts of week 1 action, but of course, this is week 0 and what we really need to focus on right here. So we appreciate the response with 266 on the line in the middle of the day. Cam Underwood, State of the U. You need to join him and the rest of the staff over there talking Miami football. If I don't get to take your super chat contribution and post it on the screen, I will get to all of them in regards to naming them, because I've explained a few times, and I know you guys don't care about this, but I can only get to like the last 20 or 25 comments in the scroll to post them on the screen. I can see them all on my laptop here, but in regards to grabbing them and posting them on the screens, many of them become outdated and I can no longer retrieve them. But Power Hitter, we appreciate your contribution. And just noting, after Cam and I had dissected the Florida secondary matchup with Miami wide receivers, you just think that, hey, Florida's going to blitz the heck out of just the game plan, just to kind of cover up for some lacking depth in the secondary, not necessarily talent, but depth for Florida there. Some other Carl Roundtree, thank you so much for the contribution as well. No question attached, but we just appreciate you jumping on board and everyone else. The Miami running game. How do you think that will look different than what it did last year because of the Dan Enos effect and the minus Mark and John Richt impact on the offense?
I think there's going to be movement, and that's just a thing that is it's a fact, like even if you go, 12, so 1 back, 2 tight, and you have 2 tight ends on this. Well, I got to invert it because of the screen. 2, and then you take 1 over, so you have, just motion across. That kind of movement changes how the defense reacts. So there's going to be that, and there's going to be variety. You know what I mean? It's not going to be inside zone with a bubble backside tag, which was pretty much every play. You know what I mean? It's just it was to the point, like who was it? It was Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald wrote a piece talking about the modernization of Miami's offense and how the players who were playing in this offense are saying, yeah, it was disheartening to us because the other team we would break the huddle and they would say, oh, this is what's coming. Like, okay, it's going here, like with absolute certainty and clarity, with no deception or deviation from that plan. And yeah, obviously that's going to be problematic for your performance when the team knows what you're doing. I mean, again, think about back when you started playing NCAA football on your PS2 or PS3 and you put it on freshmen and the team would break the huddle and they would line up in a certain way. You knew, oh, they're going to do this play because they only run this play out of this formation. That's basically what Miami was doing. And that's not going to happen anymore. There's going to be variety to it. Obviously, you're still going to have some zone stuff. You're going to have some jet sweep action in there, where you can have, maybe a running back who's split out. You can have a wide receiver split out and get that jet motion really quick, get a handoff or a touch pass, either one, but they basically serve the same purpose, where you get a guy going fast towards the edge to try to get that. I'm sorry, I was just looking outside of my window. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be variety, and that's just a thing that has not been seen with the Miami Hurricanes offense in far too long. So in the run game, there's going to be diversity. I think that you might even see some stuff, just like I talked about earlier with Felipe Franks with design runs. You might even see a couple Jarren Williams design runs because the kid can move, and I know that obviously Tate Martell is a more athletic runner than anybody in Miami's quarterback room. N'Kosi Perry still had a couple thousand yards worth of runs in his high school offensive career. So did Jarren Williams. So I know that that's not necessarily his strongest suit, but it's a thing that he can do. So maybe you see some of that. But yeah, in the run game, there's just going to be diversity. You have DJ Dallas, you have Cam Harris, you have Robert Burns, you have Lorenzo Lingard. Like I said, you can get a jet sweep to Jeff Thomas, Mark Pope, KJ Osborne even. Hell, you can even get funky with it and give a jet sweep kind of quick trap motion to Brevin Jordan or Will Mallory at a tight end kind of a thing, which they do sometimes in high school. But hey, if it works, it works. So the options are there. And I think that we're going to try to find a way to utilize the talent in more than one way, more than just inside zone with a backside bubble screen tag. Like you're going to have those kind of things. So I think that's where the development's going to be. And obviously the performance is going to also hinge on calling the plays at the proper time against the proper defense. And regardless of when you call it, if they know what's coming or if it's not. And I'm talking about those 4th and 1 scenarios where, look, we're going to run the ball, stop it. Any situation, whether they know what's coming or not, offensive line has to execute. Everybody who's blocking has to execute. That's tight ends. That's a fullback if you have it. Those are wide receivers on the outside, making sure that the guy doesn't come crashing down. Or if he does, be sure that you're communicating right now so you can get a now ball, just a one-step throw from Jarren Williams out there. All of those things have to happen. But in general, there's just going to be diversity of scheme that we haven't seen in both the pass and the run games, but specifically in regards to the run game, since you asked me about that.